Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Batwoman Season 3, Episode 11, Broken Toys. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't like this episode. I don't like this episode at all. This episode was written very weirdly. Like, here's the thing. Okay, so it's like, the reason why I think this was written very weird is because a lot of stuff that happened in here just doesn't make sense to me all that much. Like, it feels like it was written for a comic book. I will get into that a little bit more. It just certain things that were just, come on, like you couldn't figure that out. Like, it's one of those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just made absolutely no sense to me on a logical, like well written like show that the CW is known for doing. I know CW isn't perfect in their writing, but they at least make things realistic in whatever setting, source material that is given to them. And I know what you're gonna say. Well, okay, well, there's a lady who has plant powers and can make plants do whatever she wants. Does that make sense to you? Yes, because I've seen it done so many times in animation and movies and this and that. I know what to expect with Poison Ivy, but here, this episode wasn't a supernatural based episode like the Poison Ivy episodes. This was more grounded in realism, yet the realism made absolutely no sense. I will break down, like instead of just showing like the main picture, I'm gonna break down like, like the reasons why I had problems with this episode. Because normally with the Batwoman thing, I'm trying to like just like speed through just like one picture, and plus I'm doing like the Valentine's Day stuff. So I took a break from that just to talk about Batwoman because there's some things that happened in this episode that I knew were going to happen. There were some things that happened that I did not expect. Also, I don't like how they depicted the Joker in this. Like, I have problems with this episode. I have a lot of problems with this episode. First things first. Now, before I get into anything, first let me say there are only 2 episodes left, which means they crammed this whole Joker 2.0 stuff in the last 3 episodes of the season. That was stupid on like the showrunner's part and the creative team's part. They should have kept the whole Poison Ivy storyline kept going. They only had 3 episodes left, but they're like, oh wait, we forgot we created Joker 2.0, so we have to finish that. This was so stupid of them, and I hate inconsistent writing. I hate inconsistent creativity. It's kind of like they literally are cramming like what could have been like a season-long story arc into 3 episodes. And I don't know why exactly they chose to do that. Also, the dude who's playing Joker 2.0, I like his acting, but he is no Joker. I had no idea this was directed by, what's his name? Cadmus Johnson, who plays Luke. I had no idea it was directed by him. When I watched this episode, I had problems with this episode. Now that I know that he directed it, I wish he would have directed a better written episode. His direction style is fine. I like it. The only problem I have with his directing style is that he uses a lot of cuts. Like a lot of cut scenes. It cuts from here, it cuts to there, it cuts back to there, it cuts here, and the camera's constantly like moving in motion and stuff. I get tired of those cut scenes. It makes me dizzy. Also, in a movie, when a movie is heavily edited with a lot of cut scenes, that normally means that the movie isn't that great, or the scene that they filming isn't that great, or they made so many mistakes filming, like so many bloopers and stuff, that they have to cut together where they can to make it work. And I feel like that's kind of how this episode was and stuff. Either that or his like style is just cut, 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 cut. Other than that, I had no other problems with his direction style. Everything seemed pretty fluid, except for one fight scene. There are 2 fight scenes in this, but there's one I particularly did not like. Um, it just wasn't handled properly, in my opinion. I'll probably just get to those first. So, one thing I did expect, I expected for Ryan to reveal herself to her mother because her mother pretty much ousted her in the last episode towards the end. Well, Batwoman, exactly. And of course, Marcus in this episode ousted her as well. So, to smooth things over her mom, who she has a good relationship with now, I had a feeling she was going to reveal herself. How she was going to reveal herself, I wasn't really sure, but it was surprising and everything. And so, like, to understand what exactly happened, first let me explain this. Marcus, now dressed like the Joker with a weird Joker-esque type suit and purple hair and everything, no makeup, by the way. He got on the news and let everybody in Gotham know that the real villains in Gotham are not the people locked up in Arkham Asylum, it's Batwoman. And Batwoman is the one for all this craziness that's been going around in Gotham and everything. And so he's gonna put all the money he has from both his mom company and Wayne company into rebuilding Arkham Asylum. And for some bizarre reason, everybody in Gotham believes him. Believed a man they've never met before. A man who literally strolled into Gotham a couple of episodes ago. And not only do they believe him, they believe a man with purple hair and who is dressed like the Joker with a weird looking suit. This is the part where I'm saying it's not written very well. Oh, let me get into that first. So I feel like it was written for a comic book for a bunch of people to believe a man they never met, dressed like the Joker, and talking about how he's gonna rebuild Arkham Asylum because nobody in there is crazy, but Batwoman is crazy. Yet Batwoman is the person saving the city. They know that and everything. Many people have been saved by her. So why would they turn their back on Batwoman? And she's literally a part of the Bat family and they trust Batman. That makes absolutely no sense on a writing perspective. None whatsoever. I am very shocked and amazed they went that route. So part of the whole rebuild Arkham Asylum thing, he's gonna release Victor Zsasz, some type of rehabilitation program. The dude who he's partnered with is all like, yo, this is a bad idea. Victor Zsasz is literally nuts. And he keeps telling Marcus that. But then Marcus gives him his stupid grin and it's kind of just like, whatever he says goes, and he's the one putting money in all this other crap. Why he needs Victor Zsasz out? He needs him to kill Jada. And he also needs him to get this, like, I think a cassette tape that has leverage over Marcus or something like that. So people will believe that he's really crazy in the head from like the Joker and stuff. So anyways, Victor Zsasz is now released. I like the actor who plays Victor Zsasz. He's really good. And so, like, it just makes no sense for this dude who clearly keeps telling Marcus, yo, Victor Zsasz is not cool. Everybody in Arkham Asylum is nuts. And, like, what are you doing? And he just goes with it. That makes absolutely no sense. So then, of course, the Bat team, they're trying to figure out how they can help Marcus and everything. Um, Mary, I expected Mary in this episode would have her woe is me episode. Oh no, I killed that man type stuff. How do I deal with that? I expected that. I expected to be the whole driving force of the episode, but it wasn't. It was broken up. So it was nice that it was broken up. And it was nice that she has those feelings because it gives good character development and drama for her. One problem I have with this is that if this was any other show, people would not forgive her for the most part. I mean, for the most part, they keep saying, oh, it was just poison ivy spores that made you do this. We clearly can see it was Mary the whole time. It was just the spores were bringing out more of her angrier side and stuff like that. So I understand part of her was brainwashed, but it was still her. And there should be some people who should be upset, but no, they just up and forgive her. Like, take both Ryan and Luke. Ryan forgives Mary for telling Marcus about her secret identity as Batwoman. Luke needs his dad's AI. Why? He needs to figure out how to fix the joy buzzer and stuff. Because Luke apparently isn't as smart as everybody thought he was in season one. And so he can't do that because Mary has the AI. And what did Mary do with it? She gave it to Marcus. So they have to break into Wayne Tower and go get it. And when she tells Luke the reason why she did it, she says she wanted to hurt him so bad, like he hurt her and everything. And so he looks at her with an upset look, but he's all like, it's fine, it's fine. He just shakes his head. He's not fine by that, but they don't want to go into it because this show doesn't want to do real drama. They just want to do woe is me drama and love drama and stuff like that, romance drama. And so this should have been a big argument the two had. Because what did Luke exactly do to hurt Mary? Nothing. And so and the AI is the last thing he has of his father, voice wise. So he should have been more angry. So that kind of upset me. They should have really pushed that. Now here's a part that is kind of weird. So okay, this is the part that kind of upsets me a little. The depiction, well, actually, it upsets me a lot. The depiction of the Joker. Remember how I've said in a couple of episodes before, the Arrowverse loves to piss on Batman. Well, apparently they love to piss on his Rose Gallery as well. And one of those people they like to piss on is the Joker. So Alice comes in because, she has nothing to do this season because her hallucinations come and goes. And they haven't really explained that. They're gonna do a little bit more next episode, I guess. Whatever. What's the point of this storyline for her having hallucinations if they're not even gonna keep it for the whole season? Anyways, so they need to figure out to get the joy buzzer up and running because apparently it's so many years old and it's been cryo free stasis for 15 years or so. And Luke is all I can't fix this thing. Okay, I don't understand how difficult this thing is to fix. First things first, the Arrowverse has oppressive technology. In Flash, Arrow, and in Batwoman, they have some very high-tech stuff. You mean to tell me he can't just open the thing up, look and see what kind of parts are needed, and replace them? He can't do that? Because apparently they make Luke to be a weenie, but he's supposed to be the tech guy, but he can't fix that. And so Alice is all well, why don't you find the person who created it? And I'm thinking, oh, she's talking about the Joker. But of course, we're never going to see the real Joker in this show because he's not allowed to be in it. But no, the person who created the Joy Buzzer was a woman named Kiki Roulette. She's an accomplice of the Jokers and everything. And then Alice goes even further. She's all the Joy Buzzer, the whoopee cushion stuff, the explosives, the acid coming out the flower. She created all of that. So you mean to tell me the Joker could not create that stuff himself? That's how stupid he is. So basically the Joker in the Arrowverse is just some crazy guy with paint on his face who just goes around killing people and laughing like a nut job, but he's not smart enough to create his own gadgets. What kind of BS pissy mess is that? I don't get that. Every version you ever seen of Joker, they want to make him a very competent person who can go toe to toe with Batman because he's literally a man who looks like a clown and is crazy and kills people. He needs to be on some type of level Batman is. One of those type of levels they did in the past was make him a chemist, make him an engineer, make him create his own gadgets and stuff. Now, all of a sudden, he doesn't do all that. And this is the part that's going to sound a little controversial. Because I know at times it sounds like I'm not for woman empowerment, but trust me, I really, really am. I just feel like the Arrowverse and other modern shows doesn't do it properly. One of the things that does do it properly is Xena. I always go back to Xena because she's always my go-to person when it comes to women empowerment. And so, like, one thing about modern day television is that they're trying to push women empowerment because they need more females to envision themselves as like important people of work society and stuff like that because they get dumped on a lot and they don't get paid as much as men. I'm all for that. Only problem is just the way they go about it. It seems forced and it seems fake. And so the person who created the stuff, like I said, is Kiki, a woman. So the Joker, a man, could not create his own stuff because he was too simple-minded and he needed the female to create it for him. It's very similar to that whole Poison Ivy, Renee Montoya, and Batman thing. Batman is supposed to be a chemist. Batman could not figure out how to withstand Poison Ivy's little mind control crap. So Renee Montoya, a cop with no science background, was able to come up with a formula to prevent herself from being mind controlled by Poison Ivy. A cop with no science background. Whereas Batman, the world's greatest detective who has a science background, who now in this new reality has hung out with people like Wonder Woman and Superman and all this other stuff and has been exposed to alien technology and all this other crap, could not figure that out. But the female cop who has no science background was able to do it. And this is what I'm talking about fake female empowerment. And so they just literally piss on the Joker with all that crap. So they have to find her. So Mary's all like, I'll do it because, like I'm a medical person and this and that. And, I can do it. And she sends Alice with her because she doesn't want to send Sophie. Her reasoning is because Marcus doesn't target people who hate Ryan. So that's, of course, is Mary and Alice and everything. And so they go and they find Kiki. And the part that is still written very stupidly as like a comic book is the explanation of how Marcus went nuts in the head. They finally explained it. Oh, also with the Joy Buzzer, don't make no sense is that, okay, all of the Rose Gallery stuff was in cryostasis. And every time the other Rogue Gallery stuff was taken out of stasis, it worked. The Mad Hatter's hat, Bane's little venom crap, the Poison Ivy plant, but yet, for some bizarre reason, the Joy Buzzer was the only thing to malfunction and could barely work. That don't make absolutely no sense. I hate these writers so much. They're so inconsistent and just can't put out good like storytelling type stuff. Oh, also with the Kiki Roulette character. Why give her the last name Roulette? Roulette is a very famous person in DC Comics, and she has appeared in the Arrowverse before. So I don't understand why they would give her that last name like that. And when I heard the last name Roulette, that's the first thing I thought was the Asian lady with the giant like dragon tattoo that goes down her leg. So first they find Kiki. She's pretending to be a different woman. And I don't know how they didn't know it's the same woman. Because, well, actually, they just literally didn't know. Now, here's the thing: you see Kiki. Kiki's hair is all wild, and she's wearing glasses. She has a big smile on her face. When we see the lady, she's not dressed like that whatsoever. There's no glasses. There's no wild hair. But she still looks the absolute same. It's the same thing with Superman taking off his glasses or putting on glasses, and then he's being Clark Clark Kent. It's the same person. Like, how did they not know? And this is why I'm saying it's written like a comic book. Like, how could you not know it's the same woman? I could tell just by looking at her and stuff. But of course, who figured it out? Alice, because Alice is smarter than everybody else in this entire show. And so the lady tells them, like, the Joker corrupted her just like he did everybody else, and that she's been trying to put that away, and she's living her life, the good life now, and all this other stuff. And the Joy Buzzer apparently was designed to block the empathy in people's brain. Huh? So the Joy Buzzer, a regular Joy Buzzer, but so fancily created by her, was designed to block the emotional part that gives a person empathy. So therefore, they turn crazy and they turn into a killer. That makes no sense whatsoever, because that person will still have logic and like some type of moral center, where it's like right from wrong. That makes no sense. So it's like they are like, oh well, another zap from the joy buzzer will like correct that and everything, because it will then bring back the empathy and people. What the world kind of crap is this? This don't make no sense. This makes no sense whatsoever. Is his joy buzzer like magical or something like that? Now I can believe if he zapped you and somehow there's like a needle in the thing and it shoots nanoprobes into your brain that shuts off the empathy in your brain, I'll believe that. But I don't believe this. This is what I'm saying. It's comic book hokiness. You know what I'm saying? And it's dumb hokiness and everything. So they go to her with one of Joker's old laboratories, where she goes and fix the joy buzzer because only she could fix it. And I gotta say, I do like the Joker's lair. It's nice. It has tons of toys. Um, God, it had one type of toy I recognize, but I don't remember now. And Alice is all in love with one of the toys and all this other crap. The only problem I have with it is that I don't see Joker using green and purple lights to display everything. That's such a CW thing to do. They do that with Arrow a lot. And I just don't see Joker having like a shelf full of toys and this shelf has a purple light, the other one has a green light, and then so on and so on. I just don't see that. But anyway, it was cool. So this lady, she gives Mary some advice about how to deal with being a murderer and being corrupted by like a supervillain and all this other stuff. Alice tried, but Alice didn't do a very good job. Alice is just kind of like, this is what I do. I pretend like the person's a bad person, and that person had it coming to them. And then and I pretend that they probably killed somebody in the past or done some really bad stuff to people. Then I put it in a box and I dig a hole and I put it down there and I bury my feelings. I'm just like, oh, okay. They're trying to make Alice a redeemable person again. I get it. So this is why Alice is so nuts in the head and everything. But then again, it kind of makes a little sense because you got to think about it. She has abandonment issues. She thought everybody abandoned her. So in her mind, it would make sense to think everybody's bad and you're good and all this other crap. But still. So the lady gives Mary some advice and this and that, and Mary is still just contemplating in her head and what she's gonna do and everything, and so like, um, but then there's a twist. Oh, this woman Kiki is still well. She's not working for the Joker. She's working for Marcus, and so she betrays Alice and Mary, and she takes them to like this big open field type place. And so, like, I didn't see that twist coming at all. So I give the writers kudos for that. It's just weird that Kiki is just all like, sure thing, boss, and everything like that. Like, she calls Marcus that, like, he's the Joker. And I'm just like, well, he's not really the Joker. And she's just taking orders from him. But she's crazy in the head, so whatever. She tells Marcus that she was able to fix it. But it has only one good buzz left. So whoever gets that buzz gets to get fixed and everything. And so, like, now let's get in some Ryan type stuff. Or actually, let's get in some Luke type stuff, because he don't really do much since he's directing it. So, Luke and Sophie, they break into Wayne Tower, and they go get the AI system. It was fairly easy how they broke into it. And stuff. But it shows that Sophie knows how to use a bat grapple very well, which is something I've been saying for a long time before they put Ryan in a new bat suit. Is that why not just make Sophie the new Batwoman? They wanted to go with a black actress like they said they did. Ruby left. Why not just like put her in it? I mean, they wanted a lesbian. She's a lesbian. They wanted a black woman. She's a black woman. She has ties to this show and a little bit kind of ties to the characters, but nah. And so, anyways, they talk and everything. They have their heart to heart because they have to deal with the whole Sophie and Ryan thing. And so Luke is very shocked and surprised that Ryan had feelings for, well, no, Sophie had feelings for Ryan back when she was like a criminal and stuff before she became Batwoman and stuff. And that's just kind of weird. It's just like, so this is what the cops in Gotham now do. We know they're corrupt, but now they fall in love with all these villains and stuff. First Renee, now her. And it's just kind of like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But then here's the problem I have with this. I feel like this was like a kick in the face to Ruby because, think about it. Before Sophie started hanging with Ryan and when she started like mentoring her and everything, trying to get her to go on the right path, that's when she fell in love with her. Back when Ryan's all like, I hate cops and I don't like you because you're a cop and all this other crap. And but you gotta remember, Kate Kane was supposedly dead. So Sophie just rebounded really quick and fell for like Ryan and everything, only for Kate to like still be alive and crap. So it just happened too quickly. It's just like, oh, you hear Kate's dead, and then a couple of weeks later you're falling for like this criminal who you never met before only because she's hot. I just feel like that was kind of like a kick in the face because Sophie Moore is supposed to get with Kate Kane in the comics and stuff, and so yeah, but it's kind of like because she was so in love with Kate last season, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, she's dead. Let me go find somebody else." So that was just kind of weird. Now, I do love like how Luke is so expressive and stuff. Like the banter he has with with the characters is just great. That's one of my favorite things about him. That was one of my favorite things about him and Kate and everything. So then, of course, he finds his dad AI system, and ooh, he's happy now. Now let's get to some other people. of course, um, like we have to have an action scene. And this is the other part that bugged me. I don't like the way this was choreographed. I don't like the music that was used for it. It didn't complement the fight. The fight scenes were kind of weird and choppy. It's like it will be chop, 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 cut, cut, cut scene, and then it will focus on this person, and it will cut, 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 go to this, and then it will go back and forth between Sophie and Luke fighting some guards at Wayne Tower, and Batwoman, Alice, and now apparently Mary fighting some of the goons, Marcus goons and stuff, because of course Batwoman goes there to save everybody. So it was just a weird looking fight scene that I couldn't really focus on. It just kept going so fast. It kept being so choppy, and it kept being like so cut scenery and stuff. So I did not like that. And I did not like the music that was with it. And I was very shocked and surprised to see that Mary is starting to fight now. Who taught her how to fight? Like seriously, and she stabbed a person. I thought she supposed to be, oh, woe is me, I killed somebody type thing. You know what I'm saying? And what makes no sense is like, okay, first of all, we know the OG Poison Ivy can fight. We know that. We know her juicy spores are all in Mary, or was in Mary. But we never saw Mary ever physically fight somebody when she was Poison Ivy 2.0. So where in the world did all this come from and stuff? But of course, now they need Mary to do more stuff now since she's starting to become more of a fan favorite. So get ready for her to be like a superhero or something in the future. So, whatchamacall him? So pretty much to end like everything, Jada and Batwoman have another heart to heart, which takes off her mask, and they keep doing this crap, man. Ryan took off her mask when she was Batwoman when she was at the Mary's clinic. Luke opened up his little helmet thing when he was at Wayne Tower. It's like somebody is gonna see them one day. We don't need to see, like, I don't understand the thing about the Luke actor. We don't need to see your face when you are in the suit. We see your face all throughout the episode. So why do we need to see it when you're in the suit? And I think they gave him a different helmet. It looks better than it did before. The other one looks stupid. But this one's more like shaped perfectly to like his face and everything. And so he talks to his dad's AI, and they have a heart to heart and about like, oh, I never needed the suit to be a hero. The hero was always in me. No, it wasn't. Now moving on from that. So Mary and Alice, they have a really cute scene. We see Mary going down in Alice's little underground place, and it was filmed nicely. This, like, the dude who choreographed that, he did it in a way that felt like real and magical at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so apparently with Mary, she wants to leave Gotham, and I think she's gonna go, I think, visit that kid or something like that, who father she murdered and stuff, and she's gonna go do something when she's gonna move. But then she gives Alice, like, she wants Alice to leave Gotham too, just go their separate ways, and she gives her some money and all this other stuff. And then this is the part that kind of confuses me just a little, because it's just Alice talking, because she always confuses me. But anyway, Alice talks about the joy buzzer thing and how it has more juice in it and it can help a person. And I think she said something about she wants to help Mary. Well, Mary's already helped. Mary's no longer Poison Ivy. And so in the next episode, the trailer, we see Alice uses it on herself. Now, this is the part that's a little confusing. I'm not really sure exactly what she wants to do because, yeah, Alice is changing for the better. They're doing that. And like I said, long time ago, if they was gonna do that, they should have just made her the new Batwoman. Think about it. Instead of bringing in a new character, she's related to Kate Kane. She could be the new Batwoman. She knows the cast, the characters, and all this other crap. But, they want a new person who we still don't know much about. And so, like, I'm thinking, okay, this thing is supposed to block the empathy in you and make you a crazy killer person. But if you get zapped again, then it opens up the empathy in you. So, this is what I'm trying to understand. She is still crazy in the head, but she's also a little sane now. So if she uses the joy buzzer on herself, will she become a better person? Because she tells Mary she wants to change. She wants to be Beth and everything. And at least that's what Mary thinks. And so, okay, so if she is crazy and she uses that joy buzzer on herself, then that means it will bring back her empathy. But Alice is shown to still have empathy and feelings and like emotion. So I'm thinking if she zaps herself, won't it block off that and turn her even more crazier than what she is? Is that really her real plan and everything? Like, I don't know. That's probably the route they're gonna go. Because think about it, they have no reason for the actress who plays Alice to still be on the show once Ruby left. There's no point for Rachel to still be on the show, but they keep her because she's a fan favorite. And so, if they make her the supervillain again, then that will have all the more reason for Ryan and them to try to stop her, and that will give her a better motivation than she had in season 2 and in season 3. So that's my theory on that. Um, so with the whole Ryan and Sophie thing, they finally talk and express their feelings, and boy, did they express themselves. That was one erotic TV sex scene. I was not expecting that, especially on the CW, because you haven't seen that like that on the CW in a very long time. Basically, it was about as hardcore as you can get to being softcore porn. They were taking each other's shirts off. You could see their bras. They were pulling each other's pants off. They were just straddling each other and doing stuff. And I'm just like, is this porn? Like it was that erotic and everything. So now they're gonna be a couple, and I still have mixed feelings about that because it was so forced, and I mean, yeah, they had like friendship bonding and stuff, but they only did it just so they can have a couple on the show. That's the whole CW thing. Now, I'm gonna get into the whole Joker 2.0 Marcus thing because that's the biggest problem I have with this entire episode. I like the actor who plays Joker 2.0 Marcus. I think he's a good actor. Before he turned into Joker 2.0, he was good. It was when he turned into Joker 2.0 I don't like. This version of Joker 2.0 is just basically a gangster. Now, the actor who plays him, I have problems with the way he portrays his version of the Joker. He doesn't act like the Joker. He doesn't act like a Joker. He just acts like a gangster. Like, that's all he acts like. They could just made him into a gangster without him the whole Joker 2.0 thing going on with him. He's just a gangster. His laugh is not convincing as a Joker laugh. It's almost like he tries too hard to be like his version of like the Joker. So he'll make his eyes bigger, he'll smile, and he'll giggle his laugh, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it like at all. And the thing about the actor, he said that he's not taking inspiration from other Jokers, which was his biggest mistake, in my opinion. He's gonna do his own thing. Now, in every live action or even animated type thing, they always do their own style. To give their own take on the Joker, except for the dude from Gotham. But that one, it was an amalgamation of every version of the Joker we've ever seen in live action and animation. And so for the most part, he was just imitating other people, but he put a little spin of his own into his version of the Joker. Not much. It was mostly just like his own, like. Okay, so the thing is, they physically had him look like different versions of the Joker from comic books, from Classic to New 52. And then they had him sound like different live action versions and laugh very much like kind of like Mark Hamill's Joker. But then when he did do his own spin, it was mostly just an amalgamation of every version wrapped into one. And for the most part, he did an amazing job, even though he really didn't do really his own style that much. This dude would have benefited better if he would have taken somebody else's style or combined two. I don't know what he's doing. When he does try to act like his own version of the Joker, I'm just not feeling it. But I do think he's a good actor and he's playing a very good like gangster, but he's not doing Joker justice. Um, and this was kind of weird about this show. Like when it came to his version of the Joker, they just made him mostly gangster. They didn't make him all that silly or goofy, which is kind of weird. It's the same thing with the two different Poison Ivies. They gave the OG Poison Ivy her ruthlessness, but not her like seduction side. But then they gave it to Mary. Mary had the seductive side. She had the fun side of Poison Ivy. It's weird how they break those two in apart. So because they're never gonna show the real Joker, we're never gonna see what the real version of the Joker was truly like. And so I just wish they never went this whole Joker 2.0 route. They could have had it where Marcus went nuts in the head and turned villainous into like a gangster, but when they gave him the Joker motif, that just ruined it for me and everything. Also, what's interesting is that they made reference to Harley Quinn and everything. Now, we've already seen Harley Quinn in the Arrow show, but she was never named Harley. She was just named Suicide Squad member, Crazy Girl, or something like that. And she was physically portrayed by this one dancer, sometimes actress, and she was voiced by Tara Strong, who is known for voicing Batgirl and some versions of Harley Quinn once the original actress quit. Um, and we see that, the actress who plays Harley is, well, she's young. And so, like, I don't really see her hanging out with, because that was before this, they knew they were going to bring a Joker into, like, the whole Arrowverse. And this version of the Joker is much older. Not Marcus, but the original one. So, he's with the younger Harley Quinn. But some of the timeline stuff doesn't make sense because, Kiki is about the age of what you would think the Joker is and stuff. So, and also, if they were to bring this actress back, are they gonna keep redubbing her voice to that of Tara? Because that's gonna be kind of weird. So they should just cast Tara if they want to. She's not much of an actress because she does mostly voice stuff, but she does act here and there. I've never really seen her act live action, except for in the Sabrina movies and stuff. Yeah. So this is just like the problems I have with like this episode. There were like a lot. It just felt like a hokey comic book thing where not, a lot of stuff just didn't make sense. The Joy Buzzer was the dumbest thing they came up with. That they couldn't figure out nothing logical with the whole Joy Buzzer. They just went some rando comic book route. Um, and it shows big time. And I still believe they should have had Poison Ivy be in the last three episodes and do this whole Marcus Joker thing next season if they get a next season. Then he would have he could hone his craft better and it wouldn't have to feel cramped because it's gonna feel cramped in these last two episodes. Like this season started off really, really, really good and interesting when they brought in like Croc and like the Mad Hatter and stuff like that, and then their version of like Poison Ivy. But then things started like slow down once the whole story arc of Poison Ivy took too much focus. And if they were gonna split it up between Joker 2.0 and Poison Ivy 2.0, they should have cut off the Poison Ivy thing much sooner, or let it last to the end of the season. Um, I don't know. I don't particularly just like this episode. I was so happy for last episode, and like I was so happy to see Bridget, even though her version of Poison Ivy is slightly bland, which is shocking because I have seen her in other stuff. But like I said before, they took the more serious route with her and gave all the fun, sexy stuff to like Mary. So yeah. As for Luke, they need to do something with that dude because I keep calling him a weenie, but I do like Luke in the terms of he was smart. He ain't smart no more. Just be honest with yourself. The dude ain't been smart in a long time. And Alice is turned out to be more smarter than him. And he can't even figure out how to fix the whole Joy Buzzer thing. That was just pathetic. Like, why is he the tech guy if he can't even do that? and he really acts like he's terrified of Marcus. And Marcus isn't even terrifying. That's the thing about him. He's a gangster who's not even terrifying. But everybody is so scared of this Joker 2.0 version. And I don't understand why. He's not terrifying. Oh, and also the piss back in Batman's face, Kiki escaped. The Joker got caught, but Kiki escaped, and she's been like on the run for 15 years, and Batman could never find her. I'm sorry, I hate how they piss on the men in the Arrowverse. It's just they make them look so weak and silly and everything. And look who was able to find her so fast. And how did they find her? A glass, like an eyeglass prescription. That's how they found her. Sophie's all like, oh, those some pretty big glasses. She must have like a weird kind of like prescription. So Luke's all like, oh yeah, I think you're right, because he's a weenie who's not very smart no more. And so they like, oh, well, the last known address is here with this other lady. So they went there. They found her before Batman could. Luke couldn't even like be like, oh, she wears glass. Luke wears glasses. How could he not figure that out? They make him a weenie and everything. Like, and that's why I want to keep calling him until they make him man up.